Good evening. Patrick here. Eight questions with. Welcome to the show. It is Thursday, and it is a warm day here in southeastern Michigan. It is warm, warm, warm. A perfect day to end the show for the week. And we will be talking to our very special guest, actress, producer, screenwriter, Melanie Gretchen. She'll be here in about 15 minutes or so. So glad you guys are here. Hey, Eden, how are you, sir? Eden is Hollywood. Yeah, I can dig that. Ed is in Hollywood. All right. That's badass. All right, I go with that. Yeah, so we will be talking to our special guest, Melanie Gretchen. She'll be here. We'll be talking about her career. She's an award-winning actress, producer, screenwriter, and yeah, she's gonna have quite a story to tell. I got to watch her film that's going throughout the festivals now called like a PowerPoint, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought that was very charming, very cute. Like a PowerPoint is my kind of short movie. Um, it makes its point. It's funny. It's witty. It's warm. Um, I enjoyed it. Um, Now, I would love to review it, but unfortunately, it is still out in the festival, so we will not be able to do that. But we will be able to hype it up a little bit, and we definitely will be talking about it. So that will be coming up, and we'll also be talking about some of her other films that she is working on as we speak. I want to thank everybody that came out yesterday for our interview with Simon Shee. That was awesome, and and I really appreciate that you guys came out for that one. If you have not seen it, highly recommend watching that on replay. Also, all of our guests this week have been outstanding. Tyler Gallant was here on Monday. That was a really fun interview as well. And if you have not seen that, it is also down below. You can check out podcast group number 13 for that, or playlist number 13 for that, and or just scroll down and see some of the past lives. Let's see. Let's see. See. Ed says Ed says I can't believe I'm actually meeting Warlock on Saturday. Which star are you meeting from the movie? Are you which film which actor are you meeting? Because I do believe Richard Grant is still with us, and I do believe the young lady who played in the movie is still with us. The two other main actors in Warlock are still with us by all means. Of course, Julian Sands is not with us. God rest his soul. But still, it would be cool meeting the other members of the cast. Um, that'd be fun. That would be and get some autographs too. All right. Well, while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and break out the old calendar so we can let you know what's coming up because we always have something coming up here on the calendar. All right. All right. Here it is, July. I can't believe the first week has already blew by. Next week is going to be really, really busy. We have a ton of shows. We have one, two, three, 6 shows next week. We have 6 shows coming up. Uh, it's Hi Snow, how are you? Snow is playing her new song in the background. It's really relaxing. That's awesome. Hey Stephen, how are you? Um, oh, are you? Yeah, I don't know sure what Warlock you're mentioning. I only know the movie, Ed. So I don't know. I don't know the Myers or anything like that. If that's who directed it, I know that Steve Miner directed Warlock. I know that. I know that. So I don't know what the other Warlock is. All right. So here's what's coming up for next week. We have 6 shows starting next week. On the 11th, we welcome in mixed media artist Amy Kay will be with us on the 11th. On the 12th, we have two shows on the 12th, July 12th, Wednesday. We have Danny Thompson will be with us here at 2 p.m. That will be 7 p.m. in Great Britain. And at 8 o'clock, we will be back here with actor Mason Greer. He'll be here at 8 p.m. next Wednesday on the 12th. On the 13th, we have film director Israel Luna, who has made some really good films, including one I'm hooked on called Ouija Deadly Reunion. That name sounds ominous, but the movie is not. It is a really good movie, very interesting movie. And Israel Luna will be here and talking to us about his career. On the 14th, we have probably the most Wow, he's probably the most amazing makeup artist I've had on the show, and I've had a few. Believe me, I've had a few. But Dan Crawley is top of the line. Been really, really blessed in having him come in. He just got done completing his latest movie called Renfield with Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult, and that's just barely scratching the surface of what he's done. So he'll be here on the 14th. I am hoping, I am hoping that he will actually be able to maybe show us a little bit of his work as we do the interview. That would be really fun. Um, and then on the 15th, let's see, let's see, who played Halloween 2? Oh, you're talking about Dick Warlock. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. No, yeah, you totally had me confused, Ed. Sorry about that. Uh, had me totally confused. Okay, so that's cool. So he's gonna be you're gonna get a chance to meet him. Hello, Echo. How are you? Frosty is back with us. Yeah, that's awesome. And then on the 15th, we have the podcast duel of Ryan and Garrett. They run the Night Watch podcast, and they'll be here with us on the 15th of July at 4 p.m. So next week's shows are going to be they're going to be action packed. Um, on the 18th, we have Horror with Haas will be with us. On the 19th, we have Douglas Epps will be returning with us to say hello. And then the following week, we have another busy, busy week. We have the 24th. We have actress Jessica Dawn Willis will be with us from Silhouette and The Woman Under the Stage. She'll be with us on the 24th. On the 26th, we have artist Lazy Cheetah will be with us, a mixed media artist. Lazy Cheetah will be with us on the 26th at 8 o'clock. The 27th, we have the Reverend Horace Sheffield on the 27th. The 28th, we have Spooky Kisses will be back with us. Spooky Kisses will be making her return with us on July 28th, and we will be talking about her brand new show that's coming on Amazon Prime called Spooky Kisses Haunts. And her husband have gone around to different haunts and filmed them, and now she'll be showing them off in her upcoming series. And then, of course, on the 29th of July, the last day of the month for us, well, no, actually, the 29th, we will have Jennifer at home, and that will be at 3 p.m. And then on the 30th of July, the last Sunday of the month, we will be here on my channel for the IC Midnights. And we will be talking and watching about Hellgate, talking and watching Hellgate. I definitely want to take a moment here to give my condolences to my good friend Ben, Ben from Cadaver Club. You guys all know him. He's like between him and Casey, there are two resident kaiju experts. Unfortunately, Ben lost his dog, Quilted. Quilted was much beloved in our community. Quilted was a celebrity in her own right. And unfortunately, she crossed over the Rainbow Bridge on July 4th. And I just want to tell our friend Ben that we're thinking about you, and we're really, really sorry on the loss of Quilted. She had an awesome life with an awesome pal, and I do believe one day that you will see her again. So I'm just wanted to say that out there, that my heart's actually pretty heavy because I really loved his dog. Anybody who ever knows Ben at all knows that his dog is meant a lot to him. Just like Paladin means a lot to me, and your pets mean to you. Um, I don't know why. It just really struck me hard because I love Quilted. I thought she was so much fun. We had so much fun with her. We had her framing Gigan. We had her taking over the pizza parties. We had her framing up all the other kaiju. We just had a lot of fun with this dog, and it feels like it's my dog that I lost. I know it sounds weird to say, but that's what it feels like. It feels like if Quilted was like part of all of our family. So, um, yeah, Ben, man, we love you, man, and we're here for you. So, all right. Let's see. Okay, so Dick Warlock, man, I have to go back there and see him. Um, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna do a Zoom call, Ed. Wow, that's cool. That is really, really cool. See, Echo saying he's doing well. Good, just watching movies, getting ready to do a review and doing some research. Yes, yes, that's right. The House of Horrors is on fire this month. They will be talking to the Mighty Sadie Cats on the 22nd. That will be a lot of fun. Um, not a Zoom, Insta. Oh, okay, Instagram. Okay, well, that's even better. That's even better. Are you going to be able to ask him questions? Man, look at you. You're going to become an interviewer. Well, yeah, I hope you're writing down your questions. That's going to be a lot of fun. I enjoy talking to people like that. I'm really happy for you, and real happy for Echo. And yeah, this is exciting news. So Melanie Gretchen, I met her. Melanie Gretchen, I met her through our mutual friend Pat Bradley, who also did an interview with us here on Eight Questions with, and that's how it really works sometimes with how the show works. It's like you do an interview with somebody, and then that interview will lead you. They'll turn around and say, you know what? Thank you for a great show, and I got someone you should talk to, and then they'll refer me over to somebody, and then they'll somebody turn me over to somebody, and I really like that. I really like the networking that way. Hey, I think there's someone you should talk to. One, I think it's cool because the other person is looking out for their friend. They're looking out for their friend, and they're also sitting there saying, "I know someone who's just as talented as I am, and you should go talk to them." So I enjoy that aspect of that. It's pretty rare now, actually, that I have to really put any effort into looking for anybody because of the word of mouth has gone so good that I'm getting referrals by a lot of people. Now, will that always could be like that? No, no, it won't. Right now, it is, and I'm glad for it. Um, but like I mentioned to Simon and everybody knows, including Steven and anybody else who does the interview channel, John Doomsday Crypt, the Dolls of Horror, anybody does an interview series knows that you get not for every 100 requests that you ask, like, hey, would you want to do an interview? 98% of the time they're going to say no, or you won't even hear from them. You'll sit there and say, would you like to do an interview? You won't hear from them, or they'll sit there and say, not at this time. That does happen a lot, but you just got to keep going and keep asking. And I've been really blessed in that regards. Uh, Hi Samantha, I see you down there. Um, see, yeah, YouTube. Come up on YouTube, Samantha. Just click the link in there. Here I can drop the link in Facebook. Actually, you should be able to just go to my page and click on that. It should lead you straight to here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I heard the creaking of the basement door. That means our guest is here. So we're going to go get her. Um, do you have an account on YouTube? Oh, you have to be in the YouTube channel. You're in Facebook, so you have to come over to the YouTube side because I'm dual streaming. It's streaming both in Facebook and it's also streaming over in YouTube. Yeah, dual streaming. All right, so I'm gonna go get our guest. She is here in the basement, so please welcome her. Let's go talk to Melanie Gretchen. Here we go.
Hi.
Hi, welcome back.
Thank you. How are you?
Good, good. You look great, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. So do you.
Uh, see, now that's the way that's the way to an interviewer's heart. Um, well, thank you for being here, first of all.
Thanks so much for
And
having me.
I was telling the folks here in the chat how you and I met through Pat Bradley. And Pat had mentioned he had mentioned that you were going to be at his interview along with Jeff Clark Jr.
Yeah,
And I will be getting to Jeff. I just chose to see about asking you to do the show first, but I will be getting to Jeff afterwards. And I just like the idea that we did this through networking. Uh, uh, and that's we were talking about that yesterday with actor Simon Shee. He was talking about networking and how important it was in Atlanta. Um, how important is it networking? Is it in New York?
I think it's great in New York. There's so many opportunities to meet other actors and creators because there are still so many events happening all the time.
The entertainment section, in New York is, I think, oh, you know why? I just think of Broadway, like, or Central, or Times Square or whatnot, where all the, the theaters are at. But it's much bigger than that. I mean, anywhere in New York City, you can find something going on entertainment wise, as far as singing, or theater, independent filmmaking, TV productions. New York is still the city that never sleeps in that regard. Do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't imagine living anywhere else. Actually,
Um, yeah. So I mean, people think L.A., but I don't know why. I just think that L.A. used to be I guess for some people it still is the cat's meow, but it seems like the last year since I've been doing this show, it just seems to me like the focus of the entertainment world has gone from California out east. Uh, now we've seen productions in Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, Ohio, Louisiana, Texas, New York. Um, do you do you have you sensed more and more actors are coming out to New York?
since the pandemic started, a lot of my auditions have been virtual, so I haven't really had a chance to see a lot of the people also going out for things. But um, I mean, definitely there are still projects that are auditioning here. There's a lot of live theater, and like you can see, all of Broadway's open again, or a lot of Broadway's open. Not everything, obviously, but
Um, now you actually came from California.
yeah,
I saw there that you were formerly in the Bay Area. Where in the Bay Area were you located at?
San Francisco.
Okay, okay.
I
Uh,
was
um,
I was looking at it that because they have a lot of theater. Like when I had first moved to New York, I thought about going back to the Bay Area, and then I decided I wanted to stay in New York.
I actually think that was probably the right wise move.
You think so?
Yeah, yes. California has just absolutely become unlivable as far as affordable housing goes. Um, San Francisco is absolutely it's insane. I don't see how any, yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I lived in San Jose for 16 years, and I don't know how anybody is still there that I know. I just don't know. I would have thought they would have left like over a decade ago, but no, not really. Um, you have a great past. I mean, your story is really cool. You were you were where initially where were you born and raised at?
So I was born in the Philippines initially, and then I grew up in Malta for through high school. Um, yeah, I just had a really fun childhood, like really chill, and then I studied acting in New York, and then um, I was trying to write my own play for a while, but I couldn't come up with an idea, so I gave it just a break, and then I I kept seeing shows and I kept seeing movies, and finally I came up with what became my first short film. But um, I think that being in New York helped the whole process be organic. Like I didn't feel pressure, to create anything.
I was thinking, if when you're born in the Philippines, I mean, during the 80s and 90s, the Philippines had a really vibrant film industry. I mean, a lot of the action movies that we saw during that time, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, were all made in the Philippines. I mean, you wanted a really sharp professional crew, some exotic location, set for action. You go to the Philippines. Um, I don't know if that's I don't know if you were old enough to hear about that, or or your parents told you, or your relatives told you, but the Philippines was popping at one time.
Oh yeah.
And you went to Malta, and one would actually think that your next step wouldn't have been to the U.S. It would have been to maybe either Italy or maybe France or the UK. Um, now, how old were you when you landed in Malta?
I was 9 years old. I mean, a lot of cinema actually films in Malta because a lot of the buildings are still left over from the 17th century, and so a lot of World War II movies filmed there. And I felt like there was a lot when I was growing up. I felt like there were things that were filming. Troy was filmed there
Yes.
with Orlando Bloom, and um, but I didn't feel like it was an opportunity I could take advantage of at the time. So I didn't think, I'm going to be in a movie. I'm going to do that one day. I just thought I'm going to decide what I want to do and see what comes, I guess.
I mean, so you got your. I'm going to catch up with the chat here. The chat's been flying, so let me catch up. Can you see the chat? Okay.
I can't. Wait, here it is. Yeah. Now I can see it. Yeah.
See, Snow says hello. Was telling us about he's going to be meeting Dick Warlock on a Zoom call, so that's awesome to hear.
Cool.
Let's see, Mr. Dan Horace here saying hello to you, Melanie. Our friend Suzanne is here. Hello, Suzanne. How are you? Let's see. Echo is mentioning there's a documentary on the time where they're making all those movies in the Philippines. Yes, yes, very much so. And North Coast is here. Hey, Cheetah. Hey, North. Yeah, yeah, this is a good show, and our good friend Frosty's here, and Echo. I mean, this is a party tonight. That's for sure. Um, so I like the idea that you're 9 years old, and you would think that would not be the place to think about starting a career, but you did. Now, what was your first thing, as far as artistic wise going? What was the first thing that you picked up artistically? Was it writing? Was it drawing? Was it
Oh,
acting?
I mean, when I was in high school, I did art, and that was like really cool. But I didn't think of myself as an artist. I really started writing in college, and I thought that was going to be the thing. Um, yeah, I thought that everything would happen organically immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
like instant gratification.
oh my gosh, yeah, for acting or for art?
For acting mostly, but I
Oh my
like
gosh.
yeah, it didn't occur to me how long it would take for me to really feel the buzz, or
Well, yeah, but sometimes though I can see where that could happen though, Melanie, because like a lot of times we see a lot of young actors, they're high profile projects. They're either doing Disney or Nickelodeon or stuff like that. Some are doing Hallmark movies. I watched a movie today, and it was actress Joey King. It was actually her movie debut, and she's like maybe like 6 or 7. And it was just like I'm seeing, I'm like, wow, she really got started young. And I guess that could be impressionable to a young actor to see that and go like, it must be that easy if they got, if she got a part like that, I should be able to get a part like that too. But it's not quite as easy, is it?
I mean, I like when I was a kid, when I was 9 through high school, I performed at talent shows. I did gymnastics, so I was competing a little bit in that, and I thought it was really fun. But I didn't think, looking back now, I don't think that I thought anything I was doing was going to lead to creating a film. Like I thought it would be a great idea, but I didn't really have a concrete plan, I guess. It
But
wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was going to be discovered. It wasn't going to be like I didn't have in mind to enter into competitions or anything like that, you know?
but I mean, if you look back at where you come from, if you think about it, everything you did was leading up to that. I mean, gymnastics taught you teamwork. It gave you physicality. Art it let you, become creative. You learned how to create, which is all things actors do. You did learn how to compete. I mean, as much as people don't want to hear that word compete, but actors do compete for roles. They do have to get out there and they do have to get after it. So, and you learn how to do that. So I think all those pieces put together, and I think you have a pretty solid background, huh?
Thanks. I mean, I think competing is a real thing. I didn't think of myself as competitive at the time. Like I thought I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do my best. And, um, you know, like, I think that's something that makes sense to me now. Like you can just do your best, you can show your personality, but you can't be a better version of someone else. You can only be yourself.
Right. And then you went to the University of Denver. That's a good school too. Um, I Now, did you go there initially for acting? I did not know if Denver had a theater department or not.
They do. When I was there, it was pretty small. I thought it would be a good, well-rounded program. The one of the biggest programs is actually their English program, but they had a journalism department. They had a school paper that I was on, and I had a wonderful time. And then I discovered I would be interested to see if I could get into drama school. So you have to like interview and audition for those for a lot of the big schools, and you can go to like schools auditions where they have a bunch of schools auditioning at the same time. So when you're the actor, you audition and you get seen by 5 to 10 schools at a time. But other schools, you have to just go to that school.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, I've heard about that where you literally have to audition to be able to be accepted inside some of the bigger acting departments. That's pretty fierce, though. But I don't know. I'm like that's competitive and all that, but I'm not so sure that not going to a school like Denver with a small department.
Oh,
I'm
yeah. I didn't have, just to be clear, I didn't have to audition for Denver, the Denver program.
right. I,
Um,
I I
yeah,
think a small department might be more beneficial. Smaller department, more personal one-on-one time with the teacher.
yeah. I really liked it. It was a small class. I felt like I got what I wanted, which was help preparing for the auditions. I think that the audition process was like getting a job, like having an interview where you have to prepare your materials and what you're going to say. But when I was in college, I had not had to have many interviews, so it was a completely new process for me.
What was it like for the first time that you had an interview or you auditioned?
It was so nerve wracking. It was like an out of body experience. You know, I memorized my piece, what you're supposed to do, So I hit the minimum requirement, but like I was so nervous, like I didn't feel like my audition had any personality. And I didn't feel bad, but I just felt like, I didn't have any experience doing it.
Now, were you able to work with somebody? Was somebody able to read lines with you before your audition, or was that something that came later?
Oh yeah, one of my acting professors helped me prepare. A couple other people helped me prepare. I felt like the biggest thing was having done my audition in front of a bunch of people to get experience being watched and to feel comfortable, just like being the thing that everyone is looking at.
So, what was the piece that you auditioned for?
I auditioned for the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London. Yeah,
Wow.
that was like my first audition, and I was like, oh my god, like
Oh my
I
God.
actually missed my plane. It was like horrible, like the worst. You know what I mean?
Wow. Wow. So, how old were you when you auditioned?
I was, let's see, I was 20.
20.
So I was still in school, and I took a flight out to London, and there are actually 4 rounds of auditions. So I didn't get past the first round, but
That's okay.
I
You
was
had the
so
experience, right?
happy to be there. So you know what I mean? I just like tried to best.
That's all you can do. It really is. We talk to many actors and we talk about the audition process. And for the most part, most of the actors that come in and they literally say that they say, I went in, I did my best, I walked out, and I don't take it with me. You know, it almost go like you walk through the outer doors and you just, you wipe your hands. All right, that one's done. I did my best. On to the next one. If you get a call back, that's awesome. But what you did your best. If you didn't, you did your best, and then just keep going forward. And I guess 20 years old. I mean, were you surprised by the intensity of the emotion that went into auditioning? I mean, did any part of that surprise you? Like, I didn't expect it to be so nerve wracking.
I think when I started the whole process, I realized that it was a bigger deal because I hadn't had a history of having auditioned or even having to interview for lots of jobs as you would as an adult. Um, I felt like I would like today if I had to audition for drama school, I wouldn't be that nervous because
No,
I've auditioned so much. But um, I don't know. Looking back, I think there's nothing that can replace like actually auditioning, and you know what I mean. Yeah. So for like you can prepare, you can memorize your lines, and you can imagine what it'll be like. But until you do it, you know, there's no way to imagine.
now of course we talked about the first time where it didn't work out, but let's talk about one time where you did audition and it did work out. So talk to us about the first time you auditioned and won yourself a role.
Sure. I was auditioning for this company in New York called the Pulse Ensemble Theater, and it's a company up in Harlem. It's based in Harlem, and it performs all over the city. And I had two auditions for them for their Shakespeare production, and that's that summer of a Midsummer Night's Dream. And I mean, I got that, so that was great. But it wasn't like the first audition, so you know
But it
what I
was
mean. I felt like
was
more comfortable.
Okay. What did you what did you take from the first audition for the Royal Drama? What did you take with you from that experience and put into the next one where you won the role? What are some of the things that you took from it? You turned, what could have been a negative, but you took it, turned it into a positive, and applied it to your auditioning process. What are some of the things that you took from that first audition?
Sure, I felt like I'll never feel that nervous in that same way again.
That's awesome. Yeah, now you knocked it down. Now it's like, you know what? I've been there, done that. Uh, uh, you know, wrote the book. Now it's not. Yeah, that gave you a more sense of your self confidence must have just rose through the roof.
I think it was like more tolerable. The second one was tolerable, you know. Like I'm
Right,
still nervous, but it's not my first time, so this will be better.
right. And every time you audition after that, it just gets stronger and stronger. I know a lot of actors, they go through a lot and they get denied a lot, but it really is all about just getting up and keep going. Um, it's not a comparison to auditioning by any stretch, but I was mentioning before you got here about, when I go ahead and then I have to go ask people to do an interview. In a sense, it's sort of like an audition, because I'm writing to these people saying who I am and what I'm doing, and would you like to come over and hang out for an hour and a half or so. And it's like, I'm presenting myself open, and it's but you know what? If they say no, who cares, right? You just go forward to the next one. It's like the only thing that can happen is the only thing that can happen is they tell you no. Um, but if you don't do it, you'll never know one way or the other.
Right.
Uh, so you got the role in Harlem, at the theater in Harlem, for that was a Shakespeare. Um, Now, did you study Shakespeare at the University of Denver? Or was that is that where
Yeah,
it came from?
I
Yeah,
studied a little bit. I mean, obviously, there were like several years between the first audition for drama school and the Harlem show.
right.
Um, yeah, I think that actually it's easier to audition for theater companies rather than audition for drama schools. Because when you're 20, you're thinking, what am I going to do with the rest of my life if this doesn't go well? And I have to pick something else. But when you're already in New York auditioning for Shakespeare companies, then it's not like your first time. It's not, and you can see you're not the only one because you can see all the actors auditioning with you.
Why is Shakespeare so important? What makes Shakespeare? Why are we, why it seems like everybody's career in acting, it always goes through Shakespeare. In your opinion, I'm just curious.
I think people respond to the crowds. Like so many people show up. So if they're in the audience one day, they can see that there's already an audience waiting for them. And it's so rich, like it's so free. Like there's nothing else like it.
I mean, as far as I mean, other than your own original work, is Shakespeare the best writer that you've ever acted for? You ever done auditions for or whatnot? Is that the top of the food chain for an actor? Is to be able to do Shakespeare and do it well?
I think it used to be. I really responded to how joyful the people producing it are.
Yeah, I just it just like I appreciate Shakespeare too. I do, and I've been to a few plays and I love it. Much Ado About Nothing is absolutely one of my very favorite films, and I appreciate it. But I'm just like it's always seems that whenever you do theater or cutting your teeth in theater or whatever, it's always Shakespeare, and it's like how come it's always Shakespeare and never anybody else?
I think because Shakespeare is so different in language, so it forces the actor to make it fresh.
Hmm. What's been your favorite? How many Shakespearean works have you acted in?
Three.
Three. And which were?
So the others were Julius Caesar
Okay,
in Inwood, the Inwood Shakespeare Festival, and then I did the showcase of Romeo and Juliet.
nice.
That was really cool. And I think today I'm not like auditioning for Shakespeare anymore, but like
No,
I like the people. I like the people in it. I like watching it. I don't want to do it anymore, but I want to see it.
right, right. Yeah, yeah. I can understand that. Uh, um, I get that. I get that. Um, Now, I know you're concentrating more on feature films and short films and whatnot. But do you still have that urge to go back to the boards once in a while and cut loose in front of a live audience?
Yeah, I really do. I don't know what it would be. Um, I like things that are, I like work that's really succinct. I like Harold Pinter and David Mamet. A lot of,
Oh,
like American playwrights are really direct. Like I like that kind of material that's really sharp.
yes.
It's
David Mamet is that's
yeah,
my personal favorite.
really.
Yeah, yeah. He's electric. I honestly do, and this could be way out of left field or whatever, but I really feel David Mamet is sort of like our American version of Shakespeare,
I agree
because
with you.
he can write. I mean, I just it doesn't even matter what the movie is. I'll get it just to hear the dialogue. Just
Hmm.
just to hear the dialogue. It's so good. It's so I mean, a drama. It could be a heavy drama. It could be a crime drama. It could be coming of age. David Mamet is like he's like our premier. He's our Shakespeare. He really is, in my opinion.
I agree
Um,
with you.
Now, have you ever done any plays with him? I mean, of his work?
No, I wish. The
Oh,
thing about him is everyone wants to do it.
yes.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you can put anyone in it. Like it's really specific, but like everyone will go out for it. So if you're behind the casting table, your ideas could change. And if you're the actor, like the chance of it being you, I think is quite slim.
Well, you mentioned earlier about how you were going to start writing a screenplay, but you didn't have an idea on what to write. Uh, uh, a chat is popping again. Let me stop for a quick second and say hello to all the people who came in. Hey, there's Charles Cochran. Hi, Charles. How are you? I have a feeling you'll be over at the Token Lounge this Sunday watching the Iron Maidens. There's our friend and our friend and who's also a singer. Stephen Sheets is in the house. He's a country singer. And then our good friend Dale is here. What's up, Dale? Wow, glad to see you here, sir. Glad to see you. Yeah, this is we are talking to actress, screenwriter, and producer Melanie Gretchen, and we are having a this is flying. This is popping.
Thank you.
You're really fun to talk to.
Thank you.
Uh, um, uh, let me ask you a question too. Because you have a really cool exotic look. Like when
Oh,
I was
thanks.
watching like a PowerPoint, I was just really struck at how let's put it out there. You were so cute in that movie.
Thank you.
Oh my. Okay, now I know I'm not the only one telling you that. I'm sure everyone. You were pretty. You were
Thank
really cute.
you.
I mean, um, how do you take compliments like that from people? Are you comfortable with when someone walks up there and tells you like you're really good or you're beautiful in that or you're cute? I mean, you're just exotic looking. I mean, how do you feel like people are when they do that they separate you from your looks from your acting? I mean, or do you understand that when we're saying it that we appreciate you both for your look and your talent?
Oh yeah, I definitely think the latter. Like everything you see is in a context of some sort. So, I mean, in the case of my film, it's in the context of the script and all the production and the writing.
So taking a compliment comes naturally for you.
I mean, I think a compliment is nice. So you know what I mean? I feel touched. I don't feel embarrassed, but
Oh, I
I'm
hope
still
not.
blushing.
That's all right. Blushing is encouraged here on Eight Questions with. Believe me, I've been sitting over here. I've been caught more than a few times too, so I understand it. And it's a really cool thing, actually. It's like, wow, okay, that's I really did. I thought like a PowerPoint was very refreshing, and I'm just thinking here when we're talking about David Mamet. Now, after you started, who was your inspiration to start screenwriting? I mean, did it come from another source, a fellow actor or a teacher? Did you get inspired by the masters like from Shakespeare or from Mamet, or did you have your own story that you wanted to tell?
So many things. My favorite playwright ever is Harold Pinter, and also Neil Labute, the American playwright. And like, I don't think that my film is like their work at all, but I like the economy of it. Like I like how short the lines are. Initially, when I sent the script to the director Pat Bradley, I had tried to cut as many lines as possible, and he had suggested making the dialogue more conversational, which I agreed with.
Mhm.
And it was really an organic, collaborative process, which is what I'd hoped for. But I'd actually started songwriting separately. Like growing up, I was a singer. Like I studied singing, and I found an instructor in New York for ukulele. Like
Okay.
playing ukulele. I know it's so random, but I bought a ukulele and I thought this would be fun. This is fun. It would be more fun if I had lessons. So I found an instructor, and he turned out to be a songwriter as well and a composer. And I started writing music because I was in a Shakespeare play where the director asked me if I wanted to try writing the music for the lyrics that Shakespeare had written. This is like
Oh,
such a
wow.
roundabout story. It's such a roundabout story, but like I started doing it. I felt like also no pressure. Like I didn't say that I could songwrite. So, if I come up with something and it doesn't fit, I'm not going to be offended, right? But I came up with a few songs and she liked it. And then I decided that I would continue writing songs. And then one of the songs I came up with was the story of a man and a woman discussing what they want and their relationship, which is the film.
I can't imagine how, I mean, that your director, what an honor to ask you to make music out of Shakespearean lyrics. Now, I've never heard anybody being asked to do that before.
Me neither.
That means you must have some serious talent for him to spot that and encourage you to do so. Um, how did you like doing that? I mean, did you find how did you go about doing that?
I had taken ukulele maybe for 2 years, and I noticed that a lot of the songs I liked had like very many similar chords. So I started um, like learning. I had already started learning different songs, but then I took Shakespeare's lyrics and I started putting chords to the lyrics that he'd already written. And a lot of Shakespeare productions cut the songs, but this director had decided to leave them all in. And by the end of by the time we were ready to perform the play, there were 7 songs. Like all the songs that were in the original play were in the production.
And did you play ukulele on stage?
I did.
How did the audience respond to that? Did they think it was highly original? Did some of the pure blood get sort of snooty, or how was it received?
I think it was something they didn't expect because we didn't say we're gonna have music. Like
Right.
I mean, there was no expectation that there would be music. Maybe there would be one song, but because most Shakespeare shows cut the songs, then you know what I mean? It was like something that, wasn't in the program.
Wow. Please tell me you have that on video.
I don't have it on video because I'm in the Actors Equity says no video
Oh, that's
at that level.
terrible. So you couldn't even, so not even the theater crew had they didn't. Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, I recorded it for my personal use, and of course, I have the songs that were.
Oh, you do have it. You do have it recorded, but not not video, but you do have it recorded.
Right. I recorded the songs for my personal reference.
I want to hear that. You have to send me a song or two.
Definitely I will.
Yeah, I would love to hear Shakespeare with the ukulele. Who was the director that came up with the idea? We gotta give
Yeah,
them we gotta
yeah.
give them props.
It's Carrie Edelman. I can like type it in the chat. Is that a
Yes,
good
yes, please
idea?
do. Yeah, please do.
Okay, let
Uh,
me find it.
wow, we have to give props to that because that's really a cool idea.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I had like worked with her in actually at the presentation of Romeo and Juliet, like a couple years prior, and um, I had said I could sing, and she said, "Since you're already singing in this Shakespeare thing, do you want to try writing?" And I thought like there's nothing, you know what I mean? There's nothing to lose. I can't even lose space because I didn't say I could do this, you know?
No, it was just a pure stroke of genius.
Yeah, I
For
felt like how about this? I mean,
that,
she'd even hired a you know, a composer
right,
because she didn't like, you know, expect that I would, you know what I mean? Have
right.
songs that would fit. So like even no pressure for her, I guess.
Wow, what a breath of fresh air.
Right?
Yeah. Um, so I mean, again, the fact that the fact that she knew that she could pull it off, and and the thing is, so she told you to write the music. It's not like she said, well, okay, you play the ukulele. Here's some music. Here's some sheet music. You know, we're gonna do this in the play. But she turned around and she asked you to come up with original music to go with the lyrics. I mean, has that been the most faith any director has shown in you as an actress?
I think so. Yeah, I thought like, you know,
Man,
yeah, I thought like, why would, you know what I mean? I didn't feel like on the spot. I felt like, you know, oh, like what a great idea. Like
yeah,
you know what I mean? I never would have gotten there by
yeah.
myself.
I would love to see that. I bet. I wonder if she's still doing that. I wonder if she's wherever she's at. I wonder if she's still doing. If she's still doing Shakespeare. If she's having whoever's in her cast do that. That would be interesting to see. So that you play the ukulele. You learn to love it. Now, did you do any other music? Did you do any musical theater? I'm like, like that was designed to be a musical theater. Did you do any of that before you got into features?
I did. Yeah, before the pandemic, there were auditions for musical theater all the time. I think I was going to 2 to 5 auditions a week, and most of them were musical theater. And I mean, there's so much musical theater out of New York.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it is Broadway, and they have so many theaters. Small theaters. Of course, the Broadway, the off Broadway, the off Broadway. So let's get into the movie aspect of things. Now, what was your first experience as far as film goes? Because did you do all theater then transition, or were you doing theater and auditioning for film at the same time?
Yeah, I was doing mostly theater.
Okay.
I think I had a couple auditions, and like all the things that I was doing were small, like small scale, or I had a small role in them, but I had a good time. I think I decided to when it was time for me to decide what media I wanted. I wanted to go with film because I started writing my office romance like a PowerPoint in the pandemic or right before the pandemic, but I thought it would be a product that I could share more easily rather than a play. Like a play, I don't know. I felt like there are so many playwrights in New York that I could enter my play into a festival, but how many people would see that?
Right.
Like I wanted something that I could go to my friends with and say I made this, or I could send it to them.
Now, was like a PowerPoint, was that your first screenplay?
Yeah.
Where and did you draw upon the idea for like a PowerPoint? Was that Was that from your life or was that from your imagination?
It was from my imagination.
Okay.
Yeah. But like it's like half and half, honestly. Like my
I was
right.
gonna say it had to be a little bit of truth in it, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I work in an office, and in my office job, I make PowerPoints, so that's real. But also, like the larger idea of a relationship, or just anything in life, is
Hmm.
that one is constantly deciding what one wants to do and negotiating between the choices, from among the many choices. But like
Um,
specifically with a romantic relationship, like I think all the questions of what's important to you are always present. Like, where do you want to live, and how many do you want to get married, and how many kids do you want to have, and do you want to be religious, and so many things.
yeah, there are a lot of things that go into the equation about being married. That's for sure. I guess the one question I'll ask you too is, are you married now?
I'm not married now.
Uh, so that's why PowerPoint sparkled a little bit. Uh, uh, that's so cute. That's so so how long did it take you to write your screenplay, and how did Pat come into this? How did you end up meeting Pat Bradley?
Yeah, so I wrote a song that became the script in the summer of 2019, and then it took me about 4 months to come up with a script, and then I read it. I read the script with one of my actor friends, and I thought that when I read it with her, it was a comedy. It was a comedy, but it could. I mean, it could go. I thought it could go either way, and I thought, well, I don't want it to be a breakup movie because it's COVID and it's already depressing.
Right, right.
So I thought like it's gonna be a little comedic, but not a full on comedy.
Okay.
So like I had a script finally, and I was looking for a DP because I was looking to hire a crew, and I found Pat because he is the DP as well as director. And when I
Right.
emailed him, he said, I'm also a director, and you're welcome to check out some of my work and send me the script when it's ready. And like I always thought in my head of him. I didn't actually so like I didn't email him until August 2020, and or just to meet him, just to see, if what I mean, I could collaborate with him. And then in the following year, in October 21, I said, now I have the script. Like, would you be free to meet me to talk about my project? But I thought like I had looked at his work, and it looked solid. I loved the look of it. Like I could tell that he was a great writer. The stories he was telling and how he was telling them were so different from my story, but I thought his ideas were so sharp that I would love to work with him. At least meet him. I would love to meet him.
I have a comment here from Indie Vision Films. We know Pat Bradley. He's been the cinematographer for a few of our films. He's very intimidating and intense director. Why choose someone like him to do office romance? I think I can answer that. It's because Pat Bradley is a romantic at heart. Okay, I got that from talking to Pat Bradley. He's a romantic at heart. That's just telling. I'm just laying that out there. So I mean, that must be good though. I mean, it must have been comforting to know you had a skilled operator like him, working with you, telling, letting you know that, hey, I'm a cinematographer here, but if you need a little guidance on the directing part, I'm here for you as well.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I mean, he's like, I mean, I'm listed as like assistant director, but like the directing voice is totally his voice. I liked his work because I thought like I related to it, even though like my writing voice is completely different. I thought that he was invested already. Like he'd asked me, who would you like to cast? Like what kind of look are you looking for? And when I met him, he had suggestions like already, and I thought, like this would be great. This is exactly the kind of collaborative relationship I'm looking for in a producing partner.
Uh, yeah, let's talk about your casting, and I'll bring this up. I'll bring it why in a minute. Um, who did the casting? Did you cast the whole movie yourself?
Yeah, it was
Or-
me and Pat.
Okay. Why did you choose the actors that you did?
Sure. So the guy who's in the poster, the main guy, the really tall one, he he said the words exactly the way I wrote them. Like
Oh,
when he submitted a tape, I heard it and I thought that's what I wrote. That's it.
yeah. You know what though? Now I know some directors say that. I know some directors they say that that they give actors freedom to to try other things. Like here's the script. Well, let me just go ahead and flex it a little bit and try to play it this way, play it that way. And some directors will sit there and say, okay, all right, yeah. But a lot of directors, um, they especially if they wrote it, the script being what it is, um, they just want you to read what's on the script. It's like, can you read what's on there? Can you do it? Oh, it's on there. Um, I just feel like that's to me, it's like I understand having a little flexibility. I do, but not right off the bat. Like the first time you run through it, run the script. Then afterwards, they can come up there and say, "Hey, can we try something a little more? I got some ideas or something like that." But I think any actor that comes to the first time you roll in a film, you roll in a scene, and they already got ideas, they got notes already. I don't know why, but I just find that really like not a good thing.
Yeah. Pat said that he likes to see what an actor will bring, and like he wanted to see who would have the same interpretation as we did, and I liked that all the actors who auditioned stuck to the script.
Yeah,
Like as the writer, I felt like quite protective of my words, but
exactly,
like I
exactly.
really to answer the question, I really liked like Pat as the director because I felt like the the story is a romantic drama, but it's inner turmoil that the
Yeah,
main character feels. Like it's not just we're going to discuss what a happy romance we're going to have. It's like how are we going to actually make a life together?
yeah, and yeah, it's interesting too because um, without spoiling it or anything like that, but you left the door wide open. You don't know where they're going.
I thought that Pat's intensity would make the story more exciting than just like a romantic comedy or something, that could be silly or flippant.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that. It definitely came across as a romantic dramedy, more than anything else. It came across as that right off the bat. I mean, there wasn't anything that made me laugh out loud per se because, I was engaged by the chemistry. And I thought there was a lot of chemistry there, wasn't there? I mean, it seemed like I think Alex is Frank. He's the tall gentleman.
Oh,
Uh,
so of course my film is still in this festival circuit, so I can't
right, right.
show everyone.
We can't show
Yeah,
anything. But
sorry.
but you did. There was a scene though that we could talk about real quick because it was that your first romantic scene because you shared a kiss in the scene. And was that your first time you had ever been in your career? Had you ever done a scene like that in your career up to that point, or was that your
So
first one?
it wasn't my first acting kiss, but it was my first film kiss.
Okay, okay. What was it? What was it like? Was it nerve wracking,
I was
or
thinking,
I'm sorry. Was it nerve wracking, or was it a little bit more comfortable because part of the story came from your own point of view?
I think I was like a little nervous, definitely, but I was thinking of it more like the producer. I was thinking, I hope this looks good. I hope
Oh,
I hope
right.
it fits the story. You know what I mean? I hope that I'm not making the other actor nervous.
Oh gosh, no, no, I can rest assured he did not look nervous at all. he looked he looked rather pleased. I dare say. I
I
don't
felt
think
like
there'll be.
so nervous that I didn't want to make him nervous. So, like, I told myself to calm down and it'll look fine. And if it doesn't
Mhm.
look fine, we'll
It,
just do another one.
honestly, Melanie, it looked very sweet. It looked very natural.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked very natural. That's what I mean. You had good chemistry. So, how long did it take you to film the movie?
So we did it in one day.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was one long day, and then we had so like the main scene is like me and the boyfriend, and then there's another scene before the main scene with me and the ex-boyfriend, and me telling the ex-boyfriend, like it's totally over, like no hard feelings, but it's over.
Right,
And
right.
so the ex-boyfriend scene that was done on another day at a different location.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
But the main story was done in one day.
One day. Does it
That's
look like
amazing.
one day?
No, no. That's why I was asking how many days it took because I was thinking maybe 4 or 5 days, but one day. That's well, one. I mean, it tells you for it to happen in one day. It tells you that one, you got good actors. Two, you got a really good script because a lot of times scripts go through even for short films, they get bounced around for rewrites. And three, is you have a competent man behind or woman behind the camera directing. So you and Pat were on the same wavelength, and it really flows well. I could definitely see why, like a PowerPoint is doing so well. You've won many awards for that so far.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you congratulations to you both for that. Are awards important to you?
I think that they are important. I think like I really wanted my film to be seen. Like they didn't define how good I felt about making the film. Like they're not the most important thing at all. I think they're a marker of the possibility that the story touched me or touched other people as much as it touched me. But I think if I didn't win an award, if I only showed it to a couple people, I would still be really proud of it. But like to win an award is like it's like another thing I didn't expect.
Right,
Like
right.
there's a really big chance that my office romance could be just really dry and
I don't think it
you
could
know
be dry. I mean, I think if you wrote it 100% just from your imagination, there's always that risk of that happening. But I think when you draw upon your own life experience and you write that, I don't see it ever being dry because it's real life. You know what I'm saying? It's like this happened to you. I went through this. I experienced this, and you putting more emotion into it, and you put more thought into it, and more memory into it, and you can definitely tell like when people say it's a true story versus not a true story. Sometimes you can actually can sense the difference. I'm writing this based on my own past experience, which is why I think somebody like Neil Simon, if you look at Neil Simon plays and his movies, you see that they're so well. I guess maybe I should ask you, do you know who Neil Simon is,
I
right?
do.
Because I don't want to be aging myself here.
No, no.
Okay, because but I'm saying using him as an example, he always drew upon his past experience to whatever he wrote, he used from his own past, and I think that's the reason why it made his work all that much more rich is because it did come from real life experiences. So no, the like a PowerPoint, it definitely feels you could definitely know that it was coming from somebody's point of view. It was it was your definitely your voice there. Um, and yeah, now we have to mention this too because we can't really talk more about it because it is in festivals, and festivals are a pain in the ass for someone like me. Um, I mean, who want to talk about the movie, want to review the movie, want to hype it up. And festivals, they generally, I don't know if the chat knows this or not, but a lot of times when you submit your film to festivals, you're not allowed to have your film reviewed until it's done. Festivals don't want reviews. I mean, they look at your movie and they go to the database, they see one review, they have a cow, by one person reviewing it. Whereas in fact, they should be welcoming the review because it's helping getting your the work noticed. Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with that. I think most movie fans do as well. All right, so let's talk about some other projects that you've worked on. Now you have one upcoming one here now, on the back garden. It's in post production. So can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure. So I wrote the first draft for that 2 days after PowerPoint wrapped, the full day. I actually missed my flight. Like we shot it in just, I know that's like a theme. I missed my flight. Um, I was going home to see my parents over the holidays in December, and I missed my flight.
How did
And
you do that?
I don't know. You know what it is. I do know. I forgot what airport I was supposed to go to.
Okay.
So I went,
Okay.
like, I was like, there's no way I'm going to make my flight. So I sat in the airport food court eating.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
then,
not bad.
like, you know what I mean, for 2 hours. And then when I got on the flight finally, I started writing a love triangle. And then my friend offered me her garden to film in. And like I took the love triangle and I put it around the garden. And it's about this new couple, like a couple who are new to each other. And as they start their relationship, her ex boyfriend comes back into the picture. But like this, it's like closer to Pat's other movies, so like much darker. It like just kept getting darker and darker.
Sort of like sort of like the Secret Window.
Uh, yeah, what is that?
Stephen King
Oh
story.
no, I don't think it's that dark. I don't think it's
Okay.
that dark. But yeah, it left. It left like the realm of romance. So now it's a psychological thriller, and yeah, I think like I mean definitely Pat Bradley is the person to shepherd that shift in. But like I just had so much fun working on it with him and
Now
casting.
you co-wrote that with him, so that
We
was
did.
so there was that. This is strictly a fictional. There's no Melanie Gretchen story in this one, right?
No, no, there is. Of course, there is. Of
Oh,
course.
the part of this came from your real life.
Yeah, parts of it,
Oh
totally,
my,
totally.
oh my. Okay.
I mean, not like you know what I mean, not like the plot, um, but like phrases I use, things I say.
Oh
You
sure.
know,
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
yeah. So we just finished shooting that a couple weeks ago, and like I'm really excited about it. Like, but I think I couldn't have had that movie without having the office romance first.
Of course. Of
Like you
course.
can't have the second audition without the first one. You know, having missed your flight, showing up in London, feeling nervous.
Are your parents still in London?
No, they're not. No, no. I really flew to London to audition.
Yes, yes, you did. That's
And
right.
yeah, I mean, that was like so nerve wracking. But
Did you fit that story into the back garden?
no, I didn't.
Oh, I was gonna say that would
No,
be
no, I
that would
didn't. No,
be
no.
okay.
Yeah, the back garden, it's going to be so the first movie was 7 minutes. This one is going to be 20 minutes.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to make longer movies, but like the story wanted more
If
time.
you have this story demanded a 20-minute run.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that seems right. I mean, yeah.
and yeah, and another day. So we had 2 days.
Okay, no, it's all right. I mean, that's a hey, if you got the skills to pull it off in 2 days, then you got the skills to pull it off in 2 days. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess there's no right or wrong as far as that goes. Like, how long does it take to set up to film a movie? It takes as long as it takes. That's really what it comes down to. There's no wrong or right answer. It's like, how long is it going to take until for as long as it takes.
Oh yeah, but
Um,
I mean, we planned it. I mean, we planned it would be 2 days, and we
now,
had rehearsals with the actors and Pat.
Uh, so you shot it. It's 20 minutes now. Are you going to be editing this now as well? Or are you going to be editing your own work, or are you going to
Oh,
leave that?
so yeah, I'm not an editor. Like my biggest contribution was the writing and being in it, like acting in it.
Okay, okay. Uh, uh, yeah, I could see that. I could see. That's. But maybe But you're working your way up to that feature film, right? Is this something you want to see Can you see yourself doing a feature film in 2024?
I think I could see myself doing a feature film. I don't know if it'll be in 2024. After the back garden finished wrapping, I finished a play that I'd started writing in 2017.
Okay.
And I mean, I think I really just am going to go with the ideas that I have. So, like, this idea had to be a film, that idea had to be a play. I could adapt the play maybe for a film. I don't know if it would be a feature film. Like, there's
Mhm.
so, I mean, but it could be. I don't know. I haven't, you know what I mean, played that out yet.
No, I get that. What's your writing process like, Melanie? I mean, we talked about it now for your two films. So, what is your process like? I mean, do you like writing by yourself, in a quiet place? Can you write with somebody? Even if they're doing like a Zoom call, a StreamYard call like this, like we're doing here. If I was writing with you, could you write like this? Or do you have to be by yourself in solitude to do your writing?
So I've never done it like this. I've never done it live on Zoom. Maybe I could do it for the two projects I've shot. Like I had a draft that I sent, and then when I met Pat in person, he had suggestions, and then like I took them and I incorporated them like by myself, and then we went back and forth by email, and
Okay,
then like in the editing room, even more dialogue from the Office Romance was cut. But I liked it. Like I thought it worked. I thought it made the story better. Um, but I know that other people have like writing rooms or writing sessions. We didn't do any of that.
now you didn't do anything of that at all for the back garden either.
Right. During rehearsal, like we decided to make one of the scenes longer, and so I wrote an addition, which he adapted, and then we tried it out in rehearsal, and then like just like the Office Romance, it could be even shorter in the final cut, but like you know what I mean? It was really organic.
So this one's gonna be more of a dramatic role. Are you gonna after your play? Are you gonna try to write more comedy, or are you gonna do like a straight drama?
I thought about it. I don't know. I don't know if I have a comedy in me.
Really? I don't.
Yeah.
Well, you got the charming. You got the charming. You got the really sweet, and you got. I think you can probably have it in you. I think comedy. I think you could do it. Um, now, who are some of the writers that I mean? Who I mean, I'm not writers, but who are some of the? I mean, have you worked with any other directors? Because I'm looking at your body of work here. You have a few projects underneath your belt. Um, what have you? What are some of the things you've taken from like the very first film that you did? You did a film called One Way. What did you take from each role as you did it? What was some of the things that you took with you to improve your craft?
I think with each one, I've tried to be more present, like executing each project. like a lot of actors are told in class to be more, to be in the moment, which I think just means being present and not thinking, like not second guessing oneself.
Yeah, that could get really that could really, I've seen that before. Second guessing, it really, if you second guess yourself too many times, you'll never make a guess. You'll never do it. You'll be locked. It's just better not to do that. It's better to either be right or wrong and just learn from that more than like, should I do it this way, or what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And then nothing gets done. Um, I'm noticing the time frame for the movies too that you did, and it tells me that you really were working. You were really doing a lot of theater at the time. So, what led you to decide to start doing just straight films? Looks like from basically from 2018 on, you've done mostly just film work. Um, so, what led you down that road to just doing that mostly?
I don't think it was a conscious decision. I was thinking that I really wanted to see what I was excited about, and the film just turned out to be that. Um, like it really happened organically. I think if the pandemic hadn't happened, I would still be doing theater. Like I haven't rejected theater. Like I still enjoy it. I still would do it. Like I would still audition for it. But I think there's less of it now.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's really weird right now. It's a weird time to be in the business, isn't it? It's weird when you see movies coming out and they have like a $300 million budget and they open up for $70 million, and all you hear is that that movie's bombed. It's like, how is it bombed? It made $70 million, for Christ's sakes. That's a lot of money. I mean, feature length films are not cheap. Um,
Right.
where do you see yourself going for the rest of this? Where do you see yourself going for the rest of this year? Do you have you have anything lined up? New projects lined up? Other
No,
than
I mean, I'm gonna continue to follow PowerPoint to see if it gets into any more festivals. But I want to work on another screenplay. Like I've thought about a couple ideas, and you know, I just really enjoy the production process. I love all of it, like the writing of it, the casting of it, and then putting it on. I think because like now I feel excited to write. Like I don't feel pressured to audition all the time like I used to before.
but has PowerPoint opened the door for you? Are you starting to get more calls now for acting now that people have seen you on PowerPoint?
No, I don't think so because it's still on the festival circuit, so it's not like I can, you know what I mean, show all
Are,
my friends.
okay, wow. So agents, like, you have a manager and an agent. Or are they not allowed to? Oh, I didn't even think about that.
So I don't
Are they
have an
not?
agent. No.
Oh, you don't
Um,
have an agent
no,
yet.
no, I don't have an agent or a manager. A lot of that networking was in person and now it's virtual. I
Okay,
feel like, of course, I'm interested in pursuing that, but I don't
sure.
think that my writing is dependent on having a manager or
No,
agents.
I was thinking more. I was wondering if you were getting phone calls from different production places, to come out and audition, or to do more. Once they saw the movie, to me, my question, I guess, would it be like, does a manager or agent, they get a copy of PowerPoint? Are they allowed themselves to go around and show it off to prospective casting directors, saying, "Hey, here's my client right here. She's a great actress." Are they not allowed to put that in your reel, or
No,
did
no,
or
I mean it's totally in my reel, but I guess I haven't been shopping myself
okay,
as much as before the pandemic.
okay,
Like I'm happy to continue writing by myself,
okay, okay,
for
so
this
right,
year, I guess.
okay. Is that something you want to try to pick up in 2024? Is to try to pick up some representation? I think that would probably,
Yeah,
help open the doors a little bit more.
definitely. I think being an actor is a balance between meeting people, like networking and creating something that you can show them. I felt before the pandemic that I didn't have a lot of work that was totally mine, whereas like this is completely mine. Like I wrote it and produced it, and you know, I feel just really like happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And it's pretty impressive, really, that you've done all this without representation. It really is. I mean, hopefully it will go out there and it'll crush another four, another 6, 7 wins, because when you come up there and they look at your resume and they see some of your work is garnering like 20, 25 different awards. That's attention grabbing. I don't care
Thank
what
you.
I don't care who you are or what you're doing. When you come up there with 25 wins underneath your belt, you're doing something right, and people are going to want to be a part of that. They're going to sit there and say, "Well, who is this Melanie Gretchen, and how do I get to meet her? How do I get to check out more of her work?" Um, yeah, that's impressive.
Thank you.
Um, yes, we are talking to actress and producer and screenwriter Melanie Gretchen. If you guys have any questions for our guests, now would be time to drop them. If you have any questions. Um, has it helped being has it helped at all being a Filipina? Has that opened the doors for you? Do people see you and and give you more? Do you feel like you get a fair chance now? Has that come into play as far as
I don't
opening
know.
doors for you?
I
No,
really don't know. Like I don't like I don't know if people recognize that I'm Filipino. Like I assume they do, but I'm because there's such a big Filipino community in New York. But like I really don't know. Like I wasn't planning on being a filmmaker at all. So like you know what I mean. This is completely new to me. I just wanted to create something and see if I could get collaborators.
sure, sure, and you did, and you have, uh, uh, and you're doing so well.
Thank you.
Our friend North wants to know: do you have a favorite novel that you're reading?
Favorite novel. Uh, yeah, I just finished something that was really good. Let me see. I just started reading. It's called. Um, it's like so old, but it's not that old. Let me make sure I get the name right. Well, I just started reading *The Man in the High Castle* by Philip K. Dick, which is of
Okay.
course not new, but
No, yeah, that's been out there for a while. They made it into a TV show, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
I mean, I watch. I watch sci-fi. I read Michael Crichton. You know, I'm
oh,
a
okay.
huge Stephen
Oh,
King fan.
okay. What's your favorite Crichton novel?
Maybe Jurassic Park.
Okay, a favorite Crichton film. We'll see if she names them. She'll see if she names them
It's
one of
Rising Sun.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, the one they made with Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's a great one. Uh, yeah, I haven't heard anybody mention that one in forever. Yeah, that was a great movie too. For me, the 13th Warrior, man,
okay.
that's my jam right there.
I'm gonna bookmark that.
Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen the 13th Warrior?
Oh,
The book was called Eaters of the Dead.
okay.
That's the book. But then they adapted the book into the 13th Warrior, and it starred Antonio Banderas. Man, that's a great movie. That is a fantastic film. What other writers do you like?
I love Stephen King. I think like they're not like the same genre, but Stephen King and Michael Crichton, they have like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same depth.
yeah. Uh, um, all right. If you get a chance to work with if you could shadow one director, or let's make it three directors. If you could shadow three directors right now, which three would you shadow, and
Ooh,
why? And why?
um, Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, like I thought her Zero Dark 30 was amazing. I'm not sure. There's so
Uh,
many choices. Who would you shadow?
David Mamet,
Okay.
because that guy can, not only can he write, but he can direct his ass off too. If you ever get a chance to watch a movie he did called Spartan, highly recommend that. Highly recommend that. He puts what I like about him, about what one of the reasons why I like about the movies that he does, he puts people that he does not let actors, he plays them against type. He plays all his actors against type. So you see an actor, you're used to seeing him in certain roles. You won't see her or him in those roles in his movies. They'll be the opposite. And it really is. It's really it makes the film experience so much more interesting because because you don't know how it's going to play out. Before you see a Christian Bale or Matt Damon or Ben Affleck, they're playing just certain roles all the time. They don't really, you know, there's really not too many actors now that actually will go out there on a really tiny limb and do it. And for I think Mamet challenges actors to do that, and I don't think we do that very much, not anymore. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Here's our friend Pat.
No way.
Just made it. Steve Martin
Ah,
in the Spanish Prisoner. All right. That would be cool. I would like to see that. I have not seen that. I know that Steve Martin. I'm trying to think of any Mar. I'm trying to think if Steve Martin has ever done any dramatic roles. I don't think. That's a good question. Has Steve, because we always talk about Robin Williams. He did comedy and then did drama. I don't sure if we have Steve Martin has ever done a drama. I don't see anybody telling me that he has. Okay, that could be it. He could not have done a drama. All right. I know there's one. I guess he's doing that comedy. There's a killer in the building or something like that for Hulu.
oh
I
yeah.
don't stream myself, so I'm just guessing, of course. Um, yeah. All right, boys and girls. We are going to wrap up our time with our very special guest, Melanie Gretchen. I hope you had fun coming out and learning about her. I had a great deal of fun talking with her. I
Thank you,
hope you
Patrick.
had a lot of fun as well. Do you like doing press? Do you like doing shows, being interviewed? Is that something that you fear, or is it something you look forward to?
I think, yeah, I definitely look forward to it. I want to talk about my projects and, collaborate with other people.
Pat is saying that the Spanish Prisoner is a crime drama. Well, I have to go watch it. I have never seen Steve Martin do a heavy role. I think the closest thing I could think of him doing like straight drama, but it's considered a comedy drama, and that would be Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's probably the closest I can get to Steve Martin actually doing the last scene, the last 10 minutes of that role. Oh wow, it's a Mammoth film.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so there you go. See, no one thinks about Steve Martin being a dramatic actor, and there you go. He made Steve Martin to a dramatic actor in The Spanish Prisoner. And see, no one thinks about that. But that's what Mamet will do. He will take an actor and he will have them playing a different role against type. He's brilliant. David Mamet he's the shit. He really is. Yeah, I'll have to look that up, Pat. Thank you for that. All right, boys and girls, like I said, thank you for coming out. We will be back here next Tuesday, the 11th. We will be talking to mixed media artist Amy Kay. She'll be here 8 o'clock on Tuesday. On the 12th, we have English Green Queen, Danny Thompson, will be with us at 2 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, we'll be talking with young actor on the rise, Mason Greer. And I can't wait for those shows to get here. We hope that you'll come out and hang out. I put all of Melody's socials and contacts down beneath. So if you want to go ahead and follow her on Instagram and also on Instagram, and you can check up on her IMDb page and her personal page. You can do that by looking in the description box. I'm also going to be putting the link to Pat's interview that we had with on 8 Questions with. not that long ago, but I'll put it down there. And if you want to go watch that interview, please do so. Melanie, you stay right where you're at, and I'm going to say goodnight to the chat. Thank you guys all for coming. And if you didn't see the whole show tonight, as soon as I hit the button, it'll be ready for replay. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you Tuesday. Peace.